I've started recording.
Okay.
I'm going to fire up the video in three, two, one, start. And here we are. Um,
All right.
so this is Ven and Tur, uh, team on Ven's side, Beat Eat Nest, consisting of Carmine Merkava Byakuya, versus Tur team Hollow Knight in the NOL, and then the weird little squiggly tilde sign. A snake is cold as ice because I believe it's modeled after a Toho song. Team
I think
of
so.
Hazama, Jin, and Landrekia. Joining me on the mic today, we have the savior of the Mentor tournament, Jalen. Thank you so much for being here, Jalen.
Yeah, I've tried my best to be here for my fellow mentees because this tournament was really fun, even though I went 0-2 or 0-1, I guess.
Like, you have no idea how first of all, how gratifying it is to hear you say that you were having fun with it, but also you have no idea how gratifying it was to have somebody step in and help me out during the little uh, catastrophic mishaps the last time we tried recording these sets. Busy, very busy Friday night. So then is mentored by D. My understanding is that he's kind of entering for the memes. He submitted his team to me, I believe, 4 times with different participants, all with different names, in order to make better use of the puns.
I
Which seems correct.
yeah.
He's got a very threatening team. He's doesn't have a huge amount of games played, so in league he kind of went mid seed ish. Same with Tur. Uh, Tur mentored by Poyman. Solid results. These two have actually played before in league and have gone even. So I'm excited to see how this goes. Looks like our first matchup is between. I got to get used to the fact that I can't hover over things. Looks like we've got Hazama on one end, Merkava on the other.
Yes.
Awesome, awesome.
Yeah, if we didn't catch it in the beginning, Carmine and Jin are the bands.
Okay,
And actually, right up until they joined the call with each other, Ven was still debating who to ban.
interesting.
And still unsure if Hazama was the right choice because and he's never going to get to play Carmine. Everybody was going to ban Carmine,
Sure.
but Merkava and Byakuya do not play well into like either one, honestly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I feel like at our level of play, the the extent to which you can rely on the way that matchups quote unquote should go versus the way that they actually do go in practice um, means that almost every matchup has the potential to be very volatile, which is one of the reasons that I've been enjoying watching these games so much. Um, it's another way to say that like we're not good enough yet to play the canonical version of the matchup, the correct way to play where all of those interactions tend to happen. But we can say things like, "Oh, this character is very difficult, has very difficult time going into this character," and then we see the results happen because we're not quite good enough yet to bear those results out in practice.
Yeah, I can honestly, I can agree with you there. There are a lot of times I can be like, oh, this character doesn't go very well into this character, like on paper and in practice, and then in the tournament, that character gets 0-7 by everybody they fight.
Yeah, yeah, and I think that the whole community is somewhere there with us. We do a lot of theory crafting, um, and even better players, I think, are frequently surprised by the way that the results bear out when the theory says that they shouldn't bear out that way.
Yeah. Uh, I am kind of worried about this matchup because these are both just like good players.
Mm-hmm.
And like you said, they've gone dead even in the league, which makes this more worrying because now that they're both more experienced, we'll see more of the actual matchup coming out in this match.
Yeah, it's either going to be it's the matchup itself, it's the prep of the players, and also who has gotten better since they last played.
Yeah.
These were, I believe, fairly early league matches, so there's a couple of weeks with hard prep with mentors here. Also, I think notably, uh, Ven would have been playing Carmine in at least one of those league games. Then notorious, I'm gonna say, for being a huge fan of Carmine. His avatar on Discord is Carmine. Makes no hesitation about letting you know where his allegiances lie. So it's interesting to see how in a format with bans, some of that advantage that he might have had might disappear. But like you said, he is also just a pretty good player.
Yeah, and I think in this specific situation around start, it really just depends who draws that they need to initiate.
Mhm.
Hazama at range 4 doesn't really have options unless he wants to spend for Ouroboros,
Yeah,
which is kind of a risk early in the game.
yeah. If he really feels like being aggressive with uh, some on curve options, he's got Venom Sword, I guess, but I kind of feel like it's better use a little bit closer range so you can do some mid speed shenanigans with it.
Yeah, Venom Sword is definitely like a mix-up ending mix-up tool in a way.
Mm-hmm. Well said.
It stops a lot of the slow counterplay. Ah, respect.
Yep.
Now, this is actually, I am partially to blame for this play.
Do tell.
Uh, like I said, Ven was debating bans up until they joined the call,
Mm-hmm.
and I was trying to justify to them why they should ban Jin over Hazama because I think both characters are strong. I think everyone knows that.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the points that I said while I was just rambling is that Hazama has a much more tentative range 1 game than Jin does.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
And and I think some of that might have come across as stay at range 1 all the time, which to be fair can be good, especially in these kinds of aggressive matchups.
Mhm. Yeah,
But Merkava is also not a range 1 character.
yeah. Merkava is a whatever range you don't want him to be character. He can stay there once you've gotten him cornered. He's very happy to leave that range. So striking in with hungry coils down.
Yeah, this is the boost that makes the opponent set their attack first.
Mhm.
And at this exact moment, I was worried that one of them, let's say one of them, that Tear was going to pay for Ouroboros after the attack was set, which is not how it works,
Yep.
but we're good.
Yep.
Uh,
I
and
I like this strike just to deny the card draw on respect. I'm not sure if this early in the game uh boosting hungry coils is is a huge payoff for you. I mean, you got looks like falling fang
Rising
into
Fang
block,
into
rising
block.
fang into block.
That's, and you really don't want to use block this early
Yeah.
against Hazama.
Yeah, you're oh, man, I gotta remember that we're dealing with a season 6 character though. Tech hit, is that what's on block?
Yes, tech hit. It's actually in most situations better than tech because the
Yeah,
opponent doesn't get that chance to bounce back.
you've got a little bit of action compression to go along with it as long as you want it. Um, I should say you'd better want it because
Yeah.
it's mandatory.
And
Um,
speaking of interesting season 6 interactions, this is one that is heavily weighed in Merkava's favor. Do you know how fast Hazama's options are at range 2 to 3?
range 2 to 3. I mean, he's got an on curve, he's got an above curve with falling fang.
Yeah,
Um, Generally they're fairly quick. They tend to be in like the I think the 4 5 6 range.
yeah. Falling Fang is his like best option. It's above curve, like you said,
Mhm.
and it's advantage generating. Merkava beats all of his mix-up except for Falling Fang on the initiate
Right. Yeah.
because Breathe
The
Out is amazing.
yeah the range 3 pressure that he can exert, and that isn't even limited to range 3. Like it can go all the way to 4. I think.
Yeah, I think it's, I want to say 2 to 5, but I
Yeah.
have bad memory.
He has long
And
range on his breathing.
yeah, once you get farther out, Hazama just has to hold the strikes where you're throwing Breathe Out.
Yeah. Yeah. It has a similar kind of feeling to me as like maybe not quite as oppressive as like a bang style shuriken
Yeah,
that I agitate.
yeah, that is the 5 power 1 to 4 range.
Mhm.
I got real mad here when I saw the advance into the corner.
Y-
Uh, it just feels like no matter what card you draw off the top, you want to retreat here.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like um temporary positional advantages matter a little bit less against Merkava than they do against some other characters. Still not something that you don't want to be in the corner on your opponent's turn either way.
Yeah, for this exact situation, specifically against Hazama, if you give Hazama the initiate at range 2 to 3, you're asking for the mix up.
Yep. Yeah, and his mix-ups, I mean, honestly, even without Ouroboros at this range, are pretty dangerous anyway. With
Yeah.
Ouroboros,
We're at
you're just kind of you got to guess
yeah, we're at range 2, so everything is online,
pretty
including
much.
just focus.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, play your standard fast slow mix-up in the corner, and you're gonna still already be making your opponent guess into you. Looks like no force
Uh,
expenditure on Hazama's side. He's okay uh, just playing the basic mix-ups.
I would be too here, honestly. We're so early in the game that
Mhm.
losing a mix up here isn't the be all end all.
Yep. And also, I mean, he's in an advantage position. A lot of his mix-ups, I feel like, are good to get him from neutral into an advantage state. Pressing an advantage is maybe a little bit less important. Is that
Placing persistently on the defense
hoping for
and
into a spike?
spike.
Yeah. Offensive spike at 2.
Persistently is yeah, that's the one where you put it on somebody's space.
Yep.
7 power. That is
Yep.
really risky to do into Hazama on the defense, I think. It's just risky on the defense in general. But
Yeah.
like,
It's a face up card every time, right?
yeah.
I feel like in that case it's probably better on defense just because you're not giving your opponent the chance to react with uh something huge, but it's definitely you are I mean
Not
we're
choosing to advance.
advancing back out again. Um with persistently cling, I feel like you're losing to guard crushes, which are online at 2, and also movement options, most of which are also online at 2.
Yeah, it's meant to be in my opinion, like a complement to his push and fireball game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a ranged
Where
punish. Like you're
yeah,
out of options that can actually beat this card.
and I think against Hazama, it's actually pretty online because the only movement in his kit that isn't pulling you is Rising Fang.
Right. Spending the block.
Oh, I'd never seen somebody spend a block for Ouroboros. This is I guess you aren't really afraid of any super high damage from Merkava yet,
Yeah, Merkava, I
and you're
don't
gonna reach up
think
for Astral.
we're we're threatening maybe
At range 3.
backing up to 3. This is on reveal with Hazama, right? It's not a before effect.
Yes, this is on reveal
Okay.
spacing changes.
So yeah, we can be threatening on Curve Assault here. We can be threatening his whirl. But like you said, with uh, breathe out, his above curve option. Well, no, it's got to be initiated.
Yeah, now that
Merkava's got to pressure that on offense.
now that Hazama's the one initiating, Hungry Coils and Falling Fang will
Mhm.
beat the defensive fireball.
Yep. Yeah, get the fast reposition on Hungry Coils.
Still went for it.
Got Hungry Coils. Yep.
I
In
think this boost, in my opinion, I only ever seen this boost as the force cost 0 strike. I don't really care about them putting the card down first
yeah
most of the time, but this attack is also just so good I can't justify it sometimes.
yeah, I think I agree. I think late game, the use of the Hungry Coils boost is potentially very very powerful.
Yeah,
Because uh you're looking for you're looking for potential guarantees. Um,
yeah.
and if everything you have loses to everything what you have in your hand beats everything except that EX strike that your opponent might have, it suddenly becomes very useful to know that you can initiate with that. But this early on,
Yeah,
when so many
specifically if you're
resources are
like
up,
yeah, specifically if you're looking for certain cards in response that will be obvious,
Mhm.
like EX attacks, it is very, very good for closing games. Uh, and I think we're going to see this boost a lot more. I don't quote me. I think this is the only Hungry Coils hit in the entire set.
Worth noting, in the viewers at home, this is a post commentary after the kerfuffle of Friday night. So Jalen having a little bit of foreknowledge here about the way this game goes. Focus into agitate.
Yep, this is the perfect call out.
Yep, absolutely. Um, pretty much beats everything that agitate does. Be dropping a dive as well.
You have to reveal the top card for agitate.
It's oh no I see he just puts it on top of his deck upside down.
Yeah.
Yep, gotcha. Face up, I should say.
Having a focus against cornered Merkava is one of the only ways you can guarantee that you will keep your corner position.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, between, I mean, as long as we're not taking into account all of his weird advanced effects. What is that boost um that lets him move to a new range? It's on one of his ultras, I think.
Boost that lets him move to a new. Oh, you mean instant flight?
Yeah, instant flight. Yeah, as long as and when that's not down, focus is you're staying where you are.
Yeah. Striking. I can't blame him for striking, and this is such a good spot to be in with all the gauge.
Yeah.
This is either like. Okay, wild swinging.
Yeah. Yeah. Worst case scenario, you've got Serpent's Infernal Rapture. Sweep and dive in. You could certainly do worse than dodge a sweep at one in the corner as Merkava.
Merkava needed that advance out, and I think swinging the dive was a good call because Season 6 characters just can't contend sweep.
Yeah. Yeah. It's almost as though you know this from experience. Looks at your team name. Jalen repping team weight that loses to sweep. Back in the corner again.
I don't know why you'd pick advance here. I mean, I think it's kind of important to stay in Hazama's face most of the time, but he's threatening the ultra now.
Yeah, and was last turn as well when it was a sweep. You just got yourself out of this position.
And now your options are the second focus on the offense or the ultra on the crackback.
Yeah, I feel like if Hazama initiates here, focus at the very least trades back with that ultra, and because it's a 4-gauge ultra, it trades positively. Serpent's Infernal Rapture break sweep doesn't break focus, I don't believe.
Yeah, that's right. It's the fact that you can EX ultras makes this even more threatening.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, still clearly not a good way to to get yourself back into the corner. But having that focus, yep, plays the focus, hoping for the ultra probably. Okay, crosses out.
Oh, crossing out, okay.
I wonder if Tur would have played the ultra had he not seen the focus come up.
That's a good question. Because, I mean, if you're waiting for the right moment to use the ultra on the reversal, or on the offense even, you just want to get all the good defensive options down.
When you have...
Mix up.
When you have 4-gauge as Hazama, I just assume that you have the thing at range 1 and you're just going to lose the next strike. So if I see the one option that... if I see the one option that might beat my 4-gauge ultra literally on top of my opponent's deck, I would be afraid to play it.
Yeah, that's pretty fair.
Yeah. Very notably also sitting at a 13 life lead here, so
yeah,
has worked hard for that gauge.
What I really think is the weirdest part here is that with such a demanding life lead that you don't exceed.
Sure. Yeah, just pressure. I mean, that to me makes me think that he might have the ultra in hand.
Yeah, not going for the exceed and you have all this gauge just to cement the life lead is really kind of a face-up play to me.
Yeah. Wild swinging.
Oh, well, has almost good wild swing.
Yep,
so.
And also isn't super interested maybe in spending some cards in hand. Assault's in. We get some advantage.
That is rough.
Definitely rough. But if our um, theory crafting is on point, Hazama's really okay with being at one, especially on, well, not maybe not with that cross down. EX grasp actually does manage to deal on defense.
Yeah, on the
Devouring
if you're
Fang.
offending here, then you're not really scared about it. What you're scared of now is EX sweep.
Yeah, yeah, especially with
It
one
trades
cross already
horribly.
down on Hazama's side.
Yeah, if you initiate with the plan to hit the all right. So I feel like Ven is initiating here, knowing they're going to get hit by Benediction. Like you have the EX down, you just have to know you're going to trade.
Yeah, EX
There it
sweep.
is.
Yep. So is not stunned out. So massively positive trade, I would say, in Merkava's favor there, if you include
Yeah,
the gauge expenditure.
losing gauge and sweeping a card from hand is an amazing trade into Rapture.
Oh yeah, yeah, and I mean, yeah, like hitting back is an amazing trade into Rapture. It doesn't happen often.
Oh yeah.
Um, that card punches. It's rare that I see it not win cleanly. It looks like we are
Ooh, pulled Venom
losing
Sword from hand.
the other copy of, or no, one copy of Venom Sword. Um, I feel like you need to be very careful running yourself out of almost any option against Merkava because of his ability to just stick to a place where you don't want him to be and threaten you there. Venom Sword, as we were talking about earlier, one of Hazama's better uh, range 4 options.
Yeah, it's the only one that it's one of those rare range 4 options that hits and just beats sweep.
Yep.
There's no like strings attached, no advancing past. You just play it, the opponent plays sweep expecting a dive, you just win the strike.
Yep.
Um in this scenario though, I think Venom Sword wouldn't really get anything done at the range 4 mix up because of how many Merkava's moves are unique, faster, or just have guard.
Yeah.
And we are CCing away the other Ultra. That other Ultra is the biggest equalizer Hazama has in the defense.
Mm-hmm.
Because, of course, a Rapture is great. Everyone knows Rapture is great. But that Ultra right there, speed 6, range 4,
Yep.
beats everything Merkava has except for Defile.
Up to what, 8 power if you feel like
Oh, yeah.
chunking a lot of force into it, so it beats focus as well.
When we're at this low life totals, that Ultra can just end the game.
Yeah.
And Hazama is sitting on a lot of cards, so it better have the second one in hand.
Got to get the gauge to pay it first.
Boosting Backstep.
Yep. Backs up to 3. Thinking he's not got any use for that assault close up. I mean, Hazama's great at 3.
Yeah.
With Breathe Out still online, you have a limited number of options that you can do on your turn. So, I mean, if I'm Merkava right here, I'm confident putting a card down even if it's not Breathe Out because I think my opponent's afraid to walk into it. Then again, Hazama is the one who moved back. You've got to think that he's got some options in that giant stack of cards in his hand.
Yeah, if Hazama's moving back here, I think that you're going to end up with a few low value strikes to get that last gauge for the 2 gauge Ultra.
Yeah, to try to close it out.
Because all those cards in hand, there's no point in doing any like high boost strikes.
Yeah.
You could just get the Ultra and win.
Yeah, I also think that if he does have something in there that he can set up to be unbeatable, some kind of Ouroboros expenditure to make those mix-ups more threatening, he has the economy right now to do it,
Yeah.
and might actually be okay with just trading on a mix-up because of his life lead.
And I mean, we're not going to get enough strikes in unless these are all crosses and graphs to get 4 gauge.
Right.
So that's
I was gonna say,
Defile.
yeah, I was gonna say this was a Merkava Ultra playing the other copy of Assault. Okay,
Uh,
beats out
so
his beats out his fast options. Not nearly as threatening as that card can be. Uh,
Yeah.
I think really what happened to Turgis there was that he lost an assault. Um, Other than that, he's probably pretty okay trading an assault for 3 gauge from his opponent.
Yeah, and I think on the defense, playing assault's a bit. Merkava has a lot of cards at this range that have guard and do a good chunk of damage.
Yeah. Um,
So I think throwing the assault's a bit odd, but I can understand it.
I feel like just I feel like maybe he just drew that other copy of Assault um, after having boosted the other one. Because I feel like you spend something else to get yourself to 3 if you're holding EX Assault in hand.
Oh yeah.
Especially with the number of cards that he's got. I don't think that you spend an Assault to play an Assault.
Yeah, I feel like if I'm Hazama in that situation, I would just spend one force from hand, backstep one, and then Ouroboros for the
Yep.
EX assault.
Yep. Well, EX Assault loses a lot of value when you do it on offense, I feel like.
Yeah, it does, but we are getting so close to the end of the game that I would just take the
It
risk.
is still an EX, it's still 5 damage advantage.
Yeah,
You spend an extra card to do it. That makes sense to me.
and I don't think, unless I'm mistaken, that we've seen both graphs from Hazama.
Nope. Yeah, both
So yeah,
grasps or one grasp each still online for both players. I think a wild swing on Hazama's part was where one of the grasps went, and Merkava
yeah.
played respect early. For wild swing in response,
Uh,
dive into sweep.
dive
Okay,
sweep.
you very much like that kind of trade.
Yep, the sweep whiffs here. We are. That's 2 gauge. All Hazama's gonna do is back up, and unless Ven plays the block here, that's gonna be game.
Yep. Uh,
Actually, if Ven
Eternal Coils
initiates,
is 3 gauge, isn't it?
Eternal Coils is 2.
No way.
It's 2, yeah.
Whoa. Goes to update
It's
spreadsheet.
it's a crazy ultra. Yeah, unless I'm horribly mistaken, it's online right now, and that is a game-ending threat.
I've got an overlay on the screen. Looks like another copy of Hungry Coils. Long Fang.
That is Falling Fang.
Come on, season 5 art. Um,
Advancing 2.
I've got an overlay on my screen right now that has the card names and their gauge cost, and I've got Eternal Coils wrong, so I will update that after the game. My apologies,
Okay.
viewers.
I think if Merkava initiates with EX Fireball, they can bait the Ultra, but on the on the defense is nothing you can really do.
Yeah, if you're initiating other than blocking, if you're initiating
Yeah.
into okay, cross into block, there's a yeah, I mean that makes sense if you are specifically worried about the ultra, but I don't think that Hazama plays that on defense.
Yeah, it loses to a lot of things on defense and doesn't lose to much on offense.
Yeah. Yeah, so if you're trying to bait it out, um I think you are better served by having an EX in hand that can get you out of it or just holding on to block and standing at the
Yeah,
range where you think that he'll play it.
in this specific game state, Hazama doesn't have a reason to try and play the Ultra at range 2 because it's on curve.
Yeah. Yeah.
Once we get to range 3 and 4, it's just his game.
Although I think everything that Merkava can play that can get above um, it can get above speed 6 on initiation is down. Um,
I don't think we've seen either Fireball this game.
oh, I think you're right. Just checking. I think we've seen one copy of Breathe Out.
Okay, yeah.
I think most of
So,
his EXs. I think the only EX he still has online is I Drill Through. I'm not sure. I have trouble keeping track of Merkava's cards because he's revealing things and not. Uh,
yeah.
and those aren't discards. I get myself confused occasionally.
I lost track watching it. It gets very out of hand. And the top card? Yep.
Where are we going?
Advancing out with. Oh, that's the funny fly move. We're getting it to hand at the least, but I don't know if that does anything anymore. I mean, it got him out of the corner, but we're still at range
Yeah, we're
2
still
here.
at
It seems
2,
to
and
be
it's
the
Hazama's turn.
yeah. I think both crosses are down now.
I also sort of feel like Merkava is the one who crossed out in the first place. And then
Yeah,
if he's going to walk directly back in again, that makes me think that the cross really was there to bait the ultra.
yeah, that's definitely how it feels now.
Yeah.
It it would have been a pretty solid play if it did get the ultra out, but got Astral to hand and taking a second on the reshuffle. But this Astral's not very playable right now. Merkava's not going to be playing at the ranges that it'll hit, so probably just a burst for economy.
Yeah. He does have the gauge to make it happen if he wants to. Um I think that he has more reliable ways to close the game out. If I think that if you don't have you either use your astral to emergency get yourself to a game-winning state from this position, or you hold it over your opponent's head, maybe make them waste the other parry on it.
In this,
Which Merkava does not have. It's season 6.
yep,
Yep, Astral
that's
suddenly much scarier.
yeah. Season 6 makes you realize how like useless and useful some Astrals are.
Yeah,
This is this is when you learn that Jin's Astral actually is pretty good.
yeah. It turns out if you can hit from range 8, if your opponent
Yep,
can't do anything
advancing
about
or
it, they can't do
retreating.
anything
Okay,
about it.
so that's another EX in hand. I'm pretty sure.
Yep, I believe you're right.
We're in corner. If this is Ouroboros forward ultra, the game is over. Yep, bursting. Yeah.
Yeah, have we seen Merkava's other block come out?
We have not. No,
Yeah,
I've been looking out for it.
I think he can, he's it makes sense to hold on to it at this life total.
Yeah, 100%. So we've both got really decently sized hands,
Mhm.
and Hazama has more than enough gauge and more than enough cards in hand that he probably pulled what he was looking for. I don't know what he'd be looking for here, but that ultra is definitely on my mind immediately.
For sure.
And I think for season 6 specifically, there's this mindset where you shouldn't worry about cards you can't beat because you can't parry them.
Right.
You just have to play to beat as many options as you can, and only worry about that option if it'll cost you the game. But here you have to play to specifically beat that ultra and hope that nothing else is online.
Yeah. While also not losing the 4 life that you have. It's like you might be able to, if you're very, very careful, avoid losing to that specific thing.
Yep, advance or retreat to
You have a
force
lot of
passive
other things that
retreat.
can kill you.
Wondering what the play is here. We've got 6 cards in hand, so if there isn't a boost that does that, I'd be surprised. Maybe I think Merkava has a speed boost in its kit actually.
Other than Superior, can't think of one. I'm not
I
super
want to
familiar with Merkava.
actually no, I know Merkava. I've been looking through so many season 6 kits.
Hmm.
No, Merkava has power boost and guard boost, that's it. And a lot of range boosting, which isn't very useful here. Reviewing game state, I mean the Venom Sword boost is down. If Merkava initiates, they don't have to worry about Ouroboros, but if they don't, then we're gonna be going. Initiating. So what could this be?
I saw the hover over the deck for a second there. Are you playing the
You're really
Ultra?
thinking about it.
Ultra into focus.
Oh, focus to stop from being moved by the Ultra.
Has spent both copies of his focus extremely well. this
Yeah,
game Hazama has. Probably about as well as you can spend them without a clutch reading.
honestly, I'm the fact that we haven't seen reading yet, and these are still amazing callouts.
Yeah, yeah, really has been using his focus well, especially at a range where Spike is very much online. That is not a free play. Do you think you just see Merkava sitting at 3 gauge uh, at that range and initiating into? No, but I mean, uh, his 3 gauge ultra actually does lose to uh, Eternal Coils.
It loses to Eternal Coils and it loses to Falling Fang,
Yeah, so
but
so the fact that Hazama didn't play his boost there.
doing Ouroboros. Uh, I think that not playing it is just to ensure it on the initiate.
Yeah,
Because if Merkava's initiating it, you think you're going to get hit by something really crazy,
yeah.
which I can't blame.
There's also the thing that you are probably most worried about getting hit by there is something that makes you discard.
Yeah,
If you and I believe both copies of Merkava's sweep are down.
I think so, yeah. Yeah, ooh, Ouroboros forward. Now, what do you think the Ouroboros, do you think it's a real Ouroboros or a fake one? I want to hear
I
your
think
call.
it's fake. I think that he's got enough enough cards in hand to bluff right now, um, and also has something that works extremely well at 3 anyway. To the point that I'm actually not. I'm kind of second guessing myself. All right, brings out the drill through
Yeah,
EX into a bluff
that is,
into that's game. I think.
that's game.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like that was actually kind of what I was thinking. That you're holding on to the ultra probably. I'm not sure the boost forward was worth it, or the Ouroboros forward was worth it, but very well played on Tur's part.
And,
Had the block. You hate to see that. Maybe afraid of the spike, but I mean you got 4 life. The spike will kill you too.
yeah, I had a talk with Ben after the game and asked about it,
Mhm.
and apparently the logic behind the EX at that range was if it isn't ultra, this would beat everything else he had,
Yeah,
and I think that's pretty
I
solid.
think that's totally fair. Yeah. And also, I mean, I was second guessing whether he had the ultra before because we were at 3, and I was wondering why he didn't play it. Um, I can't remember if Capture and Devour was down at the time. Should have been checking discards, but
I don't remember if we even saw Capture Devour.
I think we saw one. I think the other
Yeah,
one was still
I
up.
do think we saw one. You're digging that deep in your deck and you don't see all the copies of your specials. It kind of sucks.
Yeah, for sure. All right, so rules of the game say that Tur chooses to stay or switch as
Yep.
the winner of the previous game, then getting to hopefully take some initiative back by staying or switching in response.
Yep. Staying Hazama.
Hazama it is.
Uh,
Into we're thinking so the other alternative for Ven is Byakuya. But I feel like
yeah.
if you play here, you're doing it because you want to represent your meme team.
Yeah, I think that Merkava does surprisingly well here, and Byakuya does not.
I think that Byakuya is, I will charitably say, is an unsolved character. I think that
I
he
will charitably say that he gets his ass kicked by Hazama at
yeah
range 3.
yeah I think that he might have some stuff that we haven't been able to discover yet, but we haven't been able to discover it yet, and there are some very smart people working very hard on season 6 in this community. And the fact
I,
that
I
people have not really cracked Byakuya, I think, says quite a bit. He might not have much.
I genuinely think that Byakuya does have some great plays,
Mhm.
but it's just that card quality in season 5 is so goddamn high.
Yeah.
Like Hungry Coils does everything except beat sweep.
Yep.
Like it's insane, and that's just one special. Falling Fangs above curve pushes. Like there's so many crazy ass cards that I don't think Byakuya can compete with as an
Mhm.
EX character from
Yeah.
season 6.
Do you think that if we were drafting cards for
Oh my god.
if we were drafting cards for a deck of Exceed, would Hungry Coils, because it does lose the sweep, would that fit into your theme deck of things that lose the sweep?
Um, I don't even know how to put it in. It's too good. Like
Yeah. What can
it loses the sweep and beats everything else except for cross.
can can Seth make use of it? I feel like that. I feel like if you give Seth Hungry Coils, it becomes one of the best cards in his deck.
That's cheating.
Yeah.
Like all of Seth's specials are just extra copies of normals.
Yep. Um,
It's
that are sometimes worse in some unexpected ways.
I mean, I think they end up better in some ways. Like his version of dive, it doesn't dodge attacks, but it is Soul's Oath and it boosts itself if it hits.
Right.
That's great. Transgressing Convict is a great defensive grasp, especially if it's EX'd.
Jalen, remind me who
Uh,
else was on your team. It was Seth. Were you also repping Byakuya?
yeah, Seth, Byakuya, Sagat,
Sagat, that's right. I knew
and
you had one character who I knew was extremely threatening, and then two characters who I have never seen anybody play. I will say, as evidence towards Ven's motivations behind entering the team that he did, I think both of you were quite, I'm not going to say heartbroken, but pretty sad to find that you weren't the sole reps of your weirder characters. I know that
I
Ven was upset that he wasn't the only Byakuya playing, for example.
I was upset because I wanted to have as much character variety in the tournament as possible,
Mm.
and I thought Byakuya was sufficiently mediocre to get overlooked.
Yeah, not so bad that he would be meme picked, but not so good that people who really want to win would
Yeah,
go
like
for him.
people think me picking Seth was a meme pick, which I think is honestly I kind of agree. But I do seriously like the character.
Mm.
I thought Byakuya was so middle of the road. I was gonna go with Spectre Knight.
It's funny that if we tally up the number of characters that Ven entered on his sort of abortive attempts to get me a team, uh, we probably do have the majority of the roster that has yet been picked. He had a Hyde in there. There's no Hyde representation in the tournament. There would have been had he gone with that pick. I think if we count everybody who entered the tournament, uh, me as well dropping out with Shovel and Shield, and the six different groups of characters that Ven brought in, we're pretty close to having everybody. I think we're
He's
missing like a
invalidated
treasure knight and
Ultra.
things like that.
Yeah, I invalidated. Ooh, yeah, 1 to 3, 4, 4. Yeah, that's bad.
Yeah.
Eating 6 here. I am surprised to see Devouring Fan, but I guess you can only play it in the early game against Merkava because it doesn't have any armor to ignore really. Yeah, Hmm. We're back in the same situation as the first game almost, just with bigger life totals on both sides.
Yeah, still really Merkava kind of demonstrating an obsession with that rightmost corner. And you're right about the very very consistent use of the Hungry Coils boost.
Yeah, I think it's a good boost once you have hand knowledge, like from a missed reading or a missed parry or something,
Mm-hmm.
because you can always throw down Hungry Coils after knowing what's going to beat you.
We have a reading out into.
Uh, yeah, what are you reading? Uh, Cross.
I like
That's
it.
kind of a sick read.
It's very very spicy. You're also
Ooh.
taking a trade, but you're okay
Yeah,
with that.
taking 3 to deal 7.
I that still feels pretty cool.
That's a pretty sick way to use that. I never thought about that.
Given what we were talking about with the way that one thing that we haven't mentioned about the way that Ven likes to play, I saw him playing as Carmine into Mr. Lufisto, uh, and uh, going for like some kind of unbelievably convoluted range 8 EX dive setup that Mr. Lufisto just blocked and won the game. But
That's
I don't think that Ven will ever, for any reason, put aside the cool play unless it's the only option.
I can agree with that. I've had to learn to just try to win games. It's hard,
Mm-hmm.
being so bad at the game that you have to try. But if there are so many cool plays you can make with every character,
Yeah.
and they'll usually lose you the game. I'll be honest.
Yeah, I think Ven's mindset is why would you win if you can't do those cool plays then? And I
That's a
feel like reading cross into uh if you
cling.
you miss that reading, okay, you keep your persistently cling. You're giving Hazama a free initiation in one of his favored ranges. He doesn't even need to play his mix-up tool. He knows exactly he can play whatever card he wants into you. I think it is a sick play because it works.
Oh,
But
superior.
it's a little bit dicey, I think. I liked it though.
I I think that's the kind of play you would make like during the mid game. I think making it early,
Hmm.
it has just as much value at every point in the game.
Yeah.
It is just way funnier early on.
You think that there's a possibility that Ven was kind of collecting some data from Tur early? I'm sorry, in the previous game. Like this is game 2 of the set. We might have some reads on the way that players tend to use their cards here that might have made that reading a little bit more uh, guaranteed. I'm kind of thinking that Ven saw a sweet play and went for it.
I think that Terra is pretty good about curating their hand,
Mhm.
and I think that trying to read the cross there is really, really risky, but I could see them having it in hand right there.
Yeah. I actually think that he played across in a very similar situation in the previous game. Um, I think other corner. If you can imagine a situation where Merkava wasn't in the right corner.
Yeah, I remember in a distant dream. Yeah, he crossed out at the exact same range, and I think reading the cross, it's kind of a bit of gambling there.
Yeah.
We're CC
CC.
0.
Oh, let's go, Van.
Oh my god, we have CC 0 rep.
I was gonna say that we've seen a surprising amount of prepping from Hazama after a pretty brisk first game tempo wise, and I'm not gonna say that anymore because I'm not gonna say anything about Tur's tempo playing after we saw a CC0 from Ven.
Oh my god, they're so good.
I've
You know,
Taxi's my mentor, so I'm letting him know right now that we saw a real live CC0 in the
that
wild.
was an actual CC 0 to
Yeah,
keep hand
keep hand
size. You
size.
know that deck pressure is important.
It's like seeing a unicorn. You know, I
Oh,
wonder
we're
if
discarding Ultra move too.
I wonder if every game that we're gonna see tonight, um, is gonna have, we've got a
Oh, I
CC0 in
sorry,
this
I
game.
am wrong. Oh my god.
Is it 3 gauge?
It is 3 gauge.
Let's
I'm
go.
so sorry.
Let's go. The overlay wins. No, I'll take it. Listen, the fact that I wasn't able to actually just kind of authoritatively tell you meant that I didn't know either. I was going to take your word on it because I don't know either. So I think we're both a little bit in the dark about some of this stuff.
I'll be honest. I just never see that Ultra. I just thought it was like 2 because that'd be broken in that season 5. Oh, we're EXing.
EXing at 3.
This could
Basically,
be like
yeah,
anything.
almost everything in Merkava's kit right now is EXable.
And
What do we got? Into a block. I think that
oh
makes some sense.
yeah, into block, drill through.
Which is what he EX'd last turn or last game as well.
Uh, was it?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, yeah.
So
This
how much gauge are you willing to spend on that? I think is the question.
I think you only spend enough here to move to.
Yeah.
If it's into a block, it's not worth burning everything. Well, we've gotten here. Merkava got the block out of hand, and is going pretty minus for it. Unless
Yeah.
I see
Yeah.
some real jank cards discarded. I don't know if this is worth it. I lost this bike. Okay, that's not bad to have out of hand.
I feel like most of the time, you see your opponent playing into a block, you're thinking about how like what value are you getting out of it on offense? Okay, I grasped and my opponent blocked. Awesome. That's block gone. They don't need to spend any extra cards, but they dropped a very important card and got almost nothing out of it. EXing into a block to not do much feels very bad.
Honestly, yeah. And what feels even worse is that I didn't catch this during the match. Uh, man. Did you see the force cost?
The did he play? Did he? Oh my god! Did he play Resentfully Rage?
No, oh, wait, hold on. Sorry, 1 second.
Yeah, I missed it as well. I'm wondering what that copy of Resentfully Rage is doing in discard.
Okay, all good.
Yeah. So did he pay his ultra to pay for uh that advance, that force cost for the advance?
And I'm pretty sure that was the cost for that, and I'm pretty sure that means the ultra's down now.
At least, yeah, I think he's got one more. I didn't see it.
Oh, he wild swung the ultra
Oh, you're
beginning of the game,
right.
pretty sure.
You're right. Thank you.
So Rage is down, probably one of his most useful ultras.
Hmm.
Because I mean, on initiate into Hazama, if Fang is down and there's not enough gauge here, that's gonna hurt.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, it's an on curve that does 6. Um.
And beats sweep.
Yep.
Truly a rare sight. And striking, yeah, okay. I'm gonna call that one of them is gonna play a grasp here and get hit by a slow. It's part of like the status quo at this point.
Yeah. I think that you're right. I think that if you are right, it's less impressive because you've already seen this game. But I think
I don't.
I
I
agree
had
with
to do
you.
2 matches.
What do we got? Sweep into something, into
Is
Defile. All right. I mean,
oh
that's graspy enough for me.
yeah, that's like grasp, but weak. I mean,
Yep.
beating the
Definitely
6 in return.
calling the absolute fastest side of the fast slow mix up.
Swept the dive from
Swept the
hand. That kind of
dive from
sucks.
hand. No more readings.
Ah, yeah, you hate to see it. And what you hate to see even more is that Benediction is on, not Benediction, Infernal Rapture's online. I get the names mixed up a lot. Because Benediction is the name of the Hungry Coils boost,
Yep.
which I only got mixed up because people were talking about how that boost represents Hazama's stance from BlazBlue.
Oh, you're right. Yeah. All right. Merkava
What's the
initiating
play
from the
here?
corner with focus into
Ben,
grasp.
oh,
Okay.
oh, yep, yep.
I like the
You
use
do
of
have to get
offensive
one of these
focus
right.
there.
I'll be honest, I might have been there for these matches, but I wasn't there for these matches.
There's a lot going on.
And I think both of these were like, actually no, Summer uh Ushi was really early,
Mhm.
and this one is like 1 a.m.
Yeah, this was a late game. You'll see a similar amount of inattention on my end when I was recording for Shibaka and DXT. Another prep from Hazama. I mean, maintaining Merkava in the corner is difficult for exactly the reason that Ven is demonstrating
Advancing.
now.
Oh,
I kind of feel like
just
you press whatever advantage you possibly can press when Merkava's in the corner because he won't stay there long.
yeah. Just get all the advantage you can if you're playing like undercurve assault sometimes. You just don't want him to leave.
Right. Yeah, and he will on his next turn. That's why I'm surprised by the prep. It's very I
I can
mean,
understand
there
it.
might not be anything he has that hits at 1.
I think for me, it might be that he has options at range 1,
Mm,
but as Hazami and everyone, I have low cards in hand because you don't bounce back.
right. Yeah, almost everything you're doing is force negative.
Yeah, he's so resource negative all the time that I think taking a turn where you might not win a strike to prep is 100% the right play as Hazama.
Yeah, another prep.
That one's surprising.
That to me says that he either has just absolutely nothing and should probably be CCing, or he has some kind of option that beats everything, but he there's nothing that hits at 5
Now,
in
what's
Hazama's
even
kit.
crazier, again, is that he still has an overdrive.
Yep,
Oh,
reading something.
reading?
Whatever
Whatever it was, it wasn't in
wasn't in
hand.
hand.
Yeah. What? What was the read? Dive. Assault.
Reading assault, trying to get him in. I was gonna say, yeah, there's nothing that Hazama has that hits at that range. So
So fireball,
you are very
grasp,
much Hail
strike,
Marrying.
agitate, cross. That's a pretty good hand.
Yeah, I mean you just mash the fireball, right?
Yeah, I think here you just hit the fireball.
Everything that he has hits maximum of 4, and if you're trying to beat assault, it's what, Falling Fang? No, I'm sorry. No, you got to be slower than 5.
Yeah,
Uh,
and I think nothing Hazama's got hits here without them moving in. So
yeah. Is this, what is he
unless,
playing here? Is this sweep?
yeah, probably just getting assault forward into sweep.
Yeah. So you play the card that beats sweep anyway.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, or they could just chuck the fireball. If this is Falling Fang, that would also work.
Yep. Yeah, Falling Fang's slow enough to let assault go by.
Actually, not Falling Fang, a Rising. Saying, you know which one I meant.
Yep.
All these
The
fangs
the
moving
4-1.
everywhere.
The 4-6.
Yeah.
Or 6-4 rather, yeah.
Yeah. That one.
Yeah.
Which I was talking about the DP style one, Armor Initiate. It closes one and then hits. It's 1 to 2, 4, 2 2 3. Oh,
Like
yeah,
into
fireball.
dive.
Yeah.
Okay. Assaulting
Dive.
into,
That was the okay.
okay. I kind of like
Yeah, I
it.
could see that. I could see that. They would corner yourself. I guess Merkava doesn't care. There you go.
And that was Merkava's copy of was that Capture and Devour that was down?
That was
I missed what Merkava
oh,
played in response.
Breathe Out. They went for the Breathe Out, so I think we're actually even at life totals, but Hazama's won a few more strikes.
Respecting out of the corner.
Pretty fair.
Not using Merkava's many other ways to get out of the corner.
Stopping at range 1. That's kind of surprising.
Yeah. I mean, we saw Hazama not have options at range 1 before, but he's prepped twice since then.
Prep twice 5 gauge.
Yeah, so guess what I have at range 1 that beats almost everything in your kit?
Yeah, this is unless we're gonna see another EX come out. I don't know if I would agree with going to range 1 here.
That might actually I could see it. I could see Ven having a focus in hand if he stops there.
Yeah, that would make sense. If we have a focus in hand for the almost face up ultra, then yeah, I could see that.
Yeah.
Because there's nothing at range 1 here that focus doesn't beat.
Yeah. Nope. That's not what you want.
Yeah. Okay. So the move to range 1 was just to try and keep from getting hit in a way. Just like, hey, I might have an option at range 1. Ooh. But it didn't seem like it worked out.
Yeah.
Once again, we are almost at match point. I think there is almost enough force on the table that the coils would kill again. Just need that last gauge and then we're good to go.
Mix up.
We're doing range 2. Okay. So we're doing range 2 mix up. What? We're playing with so few cards in hand. I don't know what you could be playing here that's worth
It's worth spending a spike.
Yeah.
I mean, I could see him crossing out here, just trying to maintain distance.
Crossing out would be really good. Wild swinging, no response, really.
Yeah.
Or I guess no
crossing
in-hand
out
response. Falling Fang, yep. You're gonna is the invalidate? Yeah. Okay. And the wild swing is Rising Fang.
the other one. That's the
invalidating or
armor
keeping?
one. I don't think that you're gonna beat the cross. So
yeah, I don't think you're beating cross with your base. I think here you just take the Rising Fang armor.
yeah, Rising Fang's got armor. You're okay with taking what, 1 from your cross?
Yeah. This is it's been a while. I can't blame him for deliberating, but there's no option that beats initiate cross.
Well,
So
I mean, he might be fishing for something that doesn't have a force cost.
that might be true.
If the purpose from the wild swing is to not go down on hand size, and you're kind of not Engage. Okay, so he's
Oh
taking
yeah.
coils off the table for himself. Just doesn't want to keep losing cards, and also maintains a little bit of board presence by advancing off of that Rising Fang.
Yeah, I think Tear has a much better economy than I would just expect a Hazama player to try and keep, because like he has so many good cards, and the mix-ups are just as threatening with 2 cards in hand as 7.
Yeah. I also think that there's a possibility that because he was okay with this, he's got some stuff at 4 that he's comfortable playing. I don't think we've seen either copy of Venom Sword out yet, which is at least on curve at 4.
Yeah.
Um,
Uh, yeah.
we still do
Yeah.
have that I Breathe Out that kind of
Oh well,
beats
there's the
everything.
Venom Sword
Yeah, there's Venom Sword in.
advancing too. Yep. That's what does Merkava do here?
Can't cross out
I think
again.
I want to say prep, but that's a good way to die with that boost down.
Tech,
Ooh,
tech hit into.
I'm I'm intrigued. That's I mean, I guess if season 6 not having a standalone tech does lead to these situations.
Oh boy.
That's better, yeah. There aren't many options that beat this unless he pulls a slow off the top. Yep, that loses.
Yep.
Taking a second to process. Yeah, I didn't expect the wild swing to work either. Wait, does that? Oh, it's 3 to 6. I can't read.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Wow. Wild swing off the top for a tech hit. That's
Yeah. And I'm also thinking that the force cost, like if you are going to make Hazama try to spend force by getting rid of that boost, you are trying to
oh
play
well.
an economic game, and the economic game that you're playing is kind of dicey when you have 3 life.
Yeah, we're coming to the 7 cards in hand
I
to engage.
I really feel like
I'm
that block would have been better spent just blocking than tech hitting anything that boost gave Hazama.
Probably. I don't think there are many options Azama can hyper threaten that beat block. Actually, no. I didn't see both devouring things go down unless I missed it.
Now I believe that there's one up. I'm doing a little bit of a bad job cracking cards myself.
Ah,
The curse of not being able to zoom in. Uh,
that's fair.
Guards, shout out to post commentary. It's my own fault. I got the audio mixed up on the previous go round, so that's what we're doing here. Thank you again to Jalen, by the way. All
you
right,
know, I try.
striking with one
Uh,
card. Spending a
it's
cross for
Ouroboros.
Ouroboros. Where are we putting that Ouroboros?
Uh, range 2. This feels like a bluff.
I think if you have a spike, you just play the spike. Or, I'm sorry, if you have a block, you
Falling
just play the
Fang.
block.
Was it a bluff Ouroboros?
Uh, let's see.
Spending
Spending
force to validate Falling
salt.
Fang.
It was.
It was move. And that still hits here, but that's not breaking guard.
Is it killing though?
It's going yeah. Yeah, he's faster.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, Merkava's got 1,000 turns of follow up now.
Yeah.
Unless Hazama finds all of his advance boosts right now, this is gonna be
It can be
a
a.
long trudge.
You think Kazama just reshuffles here? There's
I would.
there's not actually a ton that Merkava can do at this range.
If I'm at range 7 and neither of
Yeah.
his options, you're damn right I'm reshuffling.
Yeah, I think that
Like
this is a completely free time to. You've got 15 life. Um, yep.
yep. Yeah, I think you also reshuffle here just to get all its advances back in the deck.
Yeah, no,
Like,
absolutely. You're getting options back for yourself, but you're also just making sure that you have ways to close back in, making yourself less exploitable to the. Well, no, readings are down actually on Merkava's side,
yep.
but either way, options
Markov
are
could
good
also
to have.
take the turn. And Markov could also take the turn to reshuffle. Uh, though with so many cards stuck engaged, actually it might be worth it to reshuffle with so many cards stuck engaged to actually get the ultras down.
I would very much like to see Hazama back up 1 so that in the same game we could have seen a CC 0 and range 8 game state.
Oh my god, that would have been great.
Come on. Come on. I mean, Tur doesn't play for the memes. Tur is not a. Tur is here to win, I think. Spending a
Yep,
Falling Fang to move in.
definitely agree with that.
Yep.
Uh, this is probably like the I won't say like nail biter. This is the most frustrating part, I think, if you're Hazama.
Is just
You just
closing the
get
game out. Yeah.
yeah, you get thrown full screen and you don't really have any plays, you're just moving forward.
Yeah, and Merkava at this range doesn't really have much that he can threaten with either, so you're not gonna be striking here.
The game state isn't really progressing, people are just losing cards.
Yeah, I think he's got Capture and Devour, which would actually be fine because it moves him in. So
Yeah, C and D closes 5, so
yeah, if Merkava strikes here, Hazama's like, cool. I don't have
just
to
plays it
spend any
slow
more
and that's the
force to
game.
move in.
Yeah, and if Hazama after reshuffling has the slow, yep, burst in the astral,
Yep.
has the slow, then that's game.
And even if not, it's his turn.
Yeah.
And at a range where he's clearly more comfortable. Boosting something. Boosting. All
Really
right, we got a
considering.
reading play. Maybe should have reshuffled
What's the
on
read?
Merkava's end. He's got everything left.
Assault.
We haven't seen
Yeah,
any assaults down, and Merkava's bled through a decent amount of his deck.
if this is assault, this is game.
Yep.
Unless those last 7 cards or something are the very unfortunate assault.
Then
Is this
spending a long time here to either reveal his hand or play the assault, possibly two of them just talking.
yeah, I feel like this is either really really thinking about it or talking about the game and the call.
Yeah, it's like it would be like
Oh,
the pre-death in Assassin's Creed when like they're
yeah,
giving their last
this actually
speech.
this could this actually yeah, I was about to say this could have just been Terra thinking about the Ouroboros.
Oh, sure. I like my
I
idea
didn't
better
think.
because it involves Ven giving a dramatic speech, which I'm into.
Oh, of course, I love that. That sounds much more fun. But no, uh, he read Assault. I'm just gonna not in hand, not
Not
in
in
hand.
hand. What do we got? We've got two sweeps of grasp
Defiled, sweep,
and
grasp.
devour.
Yeah, I pulled the camera over.
Yeah. Like two capture and devours? I think I saw, or just
I
one.
believe so, unless I saw that last card wrong. Or those last 2 cards wrong. But more importantly,
Well,
that's E.
please don't play capture and devour.
Please, there's so many cards that beat it here. If you play Capture and Devour, I think that's game over.
I want him to wild swing and get assault.
That'd be pretty sick. I,
If you grasp here, you might still lose.
yeah, oh yeah,
Because this actually
defiled.
could just be Venom Sword.
Yeah, if this is Ouroboros forward Venom Sword, that is also game.
Yeah.
That's a fair point.
I'm actually not sure that there's anything. Okay, so
Defile, that's perfect.
yeah, that's great.
This is a 5
You've
damage. If
got the
this is
gauge
a
for it.
slow, that's still actually that's not a game. No, that was a bluff. Really?
Oh, so that means that it's is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's still not stunned.
That yeah, move forward. Yeah,
Yep,
they were
no
gonna close
move.
afterwards. But this is 1 damage because of 4 armor and rising.
Yep. Do a big gauge expenditure. No closer, other than the hand advantage. You got another reading in there. Play it again.
Yep, gets to move forward 1 on rising, but
Pays the spike to validate. I think you forgot
spike.
to do that
Yeah,
before.
okay. Surprised we're ditching the spike when we saw the 2 cards in hand were EX sweep.
Very true. Yeah, I mean at this range, Merkava really, really, really can't initiate because all he's got is capture and devour, and Hazama just like, okay, we'll mash slow.
Yeah, if there's any slow in
Maybe you
hand,
initiate with grasp in order to make him spend the slow, but you've still just got Venom Sword.
yeah. If you do any initiate here, this range specifically, Merkava doesn't have any armor, so
Yeah,
his unique initiates are usually on the slower side, unless it's a fireball in the corner.
right.
So this will just, or C and D, I guess, but that's too risky.
I think that you play C and D and you just die to a slow at this point. He knows
Yeah,
you. He knows you have them.
yeah, he knows you have Capture and Devour, he knows you have Breathe, and he knows you have EX Sweep, which is, I'm still surprised he threw the spike for that, but I can, yep, boosting it.
Capture and Devour boost. Definitely missing some cards here.
Yep, advance or retreat one. It'd be an interesting mix-up tool if
Interesting.
there's more than one direction to go.
I mean, you can move in one EX sweep, um, and hurt your opponent very very badly if they don't have something that beats it. But I think that, I mean, if you see that happen, you play Venom Sword and win.
Yeah, the thing is right now is that there are very few things. Oh, benediction.
It's up.
So this is
Yeah.
where
So
you're
yeah,
talking about it really
yeah.
mattering.
This is what we were saying before about, okay, now we've got a situation where just wild swings. I think that makes a lot of sense. He knows what you've got in hand.
100%.
What's he playing? We got Dive. We've got Hungry Coils. I'm sorry, not Hungry Coils. We
Thinking
got
about,
Venom
okay,
Sword.
going for Ouroboros.
Yep. Makes sense. Spike
This
into
game,
Assault.
spike.
Yes.
Oh, that's
That's game.
game.
Very nicely played on Hazama's end.
And I'll give it up. Merkava had it kind of rough here. I really do like seasons. I think everybody likes season 6. I don't
Mm-hmm.
think there are any like. There's some contentious talks about it because it doesn't represent some characters very well.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I think it has some very cool ideas and is generally fun to play.
Yep.
Just that the card quality sucks,
Yep.
and that matters a lot, specifically when going into season 5, where the setups you have to do on your side can sometimes just be worse cards than your opponent's.
Oh yeah, you do a lot of cool stuff, and then you get hit by a card that's better than your deck.
Yeah, like if Jin was the one here instead of Hazama,
Mm-hmm.
this would be infinitely worse. Jin has such great card quality and a card for like every range,
Yep.
basically. And more importantly, he has extra slows. Not just ones like Falling Fang that are low damage.
Yeah. Well,
He
I
has
mean, yeah.
like
What do you do about permafrost?
yeah,
You guess the mix up right, or you get hit. You get chunked for probably 7.
it's insane.
Yeah, I feel like what Merkava does in that matchup is stays out of range 2, and uh, a lot of Jin's bigger damage is offline, but he will still just chip you until you die.
And he will always have more cards in hand than you.
Your gear face impression was excellent. Uh, I'm here to tell you. All right, so we've got about a minute left in this broadcast. As we've got Term moving on to play. Let me check bracket really quickly here. Tur is playing the winner of Bingus and Cobalt, which has happened, but for the sake of my co-commentator who has not casted that game yet, I will leave it ambiguous as to who won that game.
Alrighty then.
But best of luck to Tur moving on in bracket. Then absolutely is going to stick around the community. He is becoming a face that I'm always happy to see when he pops up in Discord. So glad to see him around. And I believe that's going to do it for our first bout of commentary. So I'm going to stop recording now, and I'll see everybody later on.